y'all, and welcome back. Y'all know what video I just recorded before this. I love y'all. Y'all keeping up with my videos, and you know. So today I'm batching content for YouTube. Okay, so I already recorded a video before this. But like I said, if you know what video I just recorded before this, I love y'all because y'all tuned in for real. But let me get straight into it. I just finished reading Atomic Habits, and I said I was gonna do a little key takeaways that I got from it, what I'll be implementing into my life. Just I found that was really, I guess, relevant to know, or I want to talk to y'all about these takeaways basically. And I feel like they'll help you like they helped me. And that's how I've been able to be very productive. I'm losing the weight that I had gained back. I'm eating good. I'm meal prepping. I'm juicing. I'm reading my books. Like I said in a prior video, if you tuned in, I finished reading my book that was for April in 3 days. So the way I've been keeping up with getting my steps in, getting my workout in, juicing, eating the right foods, I've started to implement these things into my life, and that's how I've been able to keep up with everything. And yeah, so since I've been able to do it based on what I've learned from this book, I wanted to go over it for some people who haven't read it. So I'm planning on reading it, whatever. These are just some key takeaways from the book that you can implement right now. And we might have to make a part 2 because I just don't want the video to be too long, hit y'all with too much at once. Yeah. So the first one is focus on who you wish to become rather than what you want to achieve. When I was reading that, I'm like, because we always talk about goals, y'all, like SMART goals. And whenever we talk about goals, we're talking about the one thing we want to achieve. We're not talking about the person we want to become. So for example, when people write a goal is, I want to run a marathon. Okay. That should not be our focus. Our focus should be, we want to become a runner. Okay. So it's just a switch in your statement and your beliefs, because your mindset of who you are is going to drive everything else, basically. So like a person that's trying to run a marathon but keep telling themselves, oh, I'm not a runner, but I want to run a marathon.
What?
No, it's not going to work. You're playing with your mind and your belief system. Your belief system is what is going to drive everything else. Like a person said, if you keep telling yourself something, you keep telling yourself you're fat, you keep telling yourself you're ugly, if you keep telling yourself these negative things, you're going to believe that. Everybody starts to believe what they keep telling themselves. You're not just going to keep reinforcing this ideal or ideology in your head and thinking that you're not going to actually start to believe it. Okay, so his thing was focused on what you wish to become, not so much of a simplistic level of thinking. Think about the bigger plan, the bigger idea in mind, okay? Like I said, for a person wanting to run a marathon, reinforce, I want to be a runner. Focus on that. Don't focus on just the marathon. Focus on just moving towards what do I need to do to become a runner. Because the marathon gonna come with it. You know, once you put in the work to be a runner, the marathon is gonna come with it. But the overarching idea is to put that as your main focus. Not have it be just the one marathon or just reading the one book or just read, you know, it's a bigger idea behind that one simple goal. And that's what you need to focus on instead of focus on the simplistic view of it, just that one simple task, that one walk you go on. You're trying to reinforce an idea of who you want to become, not just the one task you want to achieve. You know, you want it to be a reoccurring thing, not just, oh, I'm gonna do that marathon. You want it to be a reoccurring act. So you need to enforce it in your head as you want it to be a reoccurring act. And what does a runner do? A runner runs. So that's a reoccurring act. Because they're a runner, they're gonna run. Because they're a reader, they're gonna read. You know, you're reinforcing what you want to continuously do because that's what you're trying to do in essence. But when we make it so simple to our minds is, oh, I'm gonna read that one book. Oh, I'm gonna go on that one run. When you make that the center of your attention, you're losing focus on the overall ideal. You're losing focus on the big picture of it all. And it's not just that one task. You need to think deeper about your goals and about who you want to become, not just the goal at hand, the task at hand. And that's what I really took from the book, because I was just like, don't nobody ever talk about that. Like, people aren't usually talking about, I want to become. It's always, I want this, I want to achieve this, that, and that. You know, you're focused on what you want to achieve, but you're not focused on the type of person that achieves those things. You have to change your mental and your belief system about yourself, your self-identity, to be able to achieve those things. If you're still, like I said, continuously thinking that you're, oh, I'm not a runner, I can't do this, I'm not this, but you're trying to do that thing, you're trying to become that person, your mind is literally fighting against what you're doing. You know, you're working against yourself mentally by telling yourself all this, but still trying to do that. You know, you're working against yourself, and it doesn't make sense. So you need to focus on the big picture rather than just the one task. And that's something I never used to do. I would never have said, I want to become this. And when I've been focusing on that, I focused on, I want to become a gym girl. What would a gym girl be doing right now? Would she be sitting in bed eating these freaking chips? Eventually, when you start to put that as your goal and you start to ask yourself, would a gym girl do that? Would a gym girl do that? You start to just automatically be that gym girl that you want to be. My goal, like I said, was to become a gym girl, a fitness girl, because in essence, my simpler goal, I want to lose weight, I want to stay in shape, I want to be healthy and live a great, healthy lifestyle and be more active overall. That's what I wanted, simple wise. But for me to get that, I need to be what girl? Okay, I want to be a runner. I'm focusing on doing those things to get there. And when you stop it at one simple task, you're not helping yourself get to where you actually want to be at. And that's the bigger picture of it all. A fitness girl wouldn't be doing this right now, laying in bed, skipping the gym. That's just kind of had me in my head of, if that's who I want to be, then I can't do this. If that's where I want to be, I can't sit here and lay on this couch and not go work out or not go on a walk. So yeah, focus on changing the belief about yourself first and foremost. Because I'm not this, and I can't this, it's only going to reinforce the negative. And like I said, that means you're fighting against yourself. You're telling yourself one thing and then you're doing something else. You're literally fighting against your own self. Second thing is start small, y'all. Okay? Those small moments, those small decisions can lead to a good or bad day, y'all. Even the start of just, should I go work out this morning or should I not? Should I make breakfast or should I not? Like, just simple, small, everyday decisions is what it comes down to. Because those small, everyday decisions pile up. And that's how you create your good and bad day, based on those combination of small decisions. And so my thing with that, where it starts small, because those small decisions matter, is I always, even if I don't feel like doing it all the way, I always just say yes. Okay, when I get up, I don't even think about not going to the gym. Even if I don't feel like it, I don't try to think about not going. I just get up, just move. Just get up, go ahead, move, keep it moving. You know, I think once you start to think about something too much, too long, first of all, you're wasting time anyway. You're wasting the time that you could be doing what you're thinking about not doing, you could be doing right now while you think about not doing it. So, you know, you're wasting time already thinking about or contemplating overdoing the thing that you could be doing. And then two, why not? Why do you really not feel like it? Is it really that you don't feel like it, or you're just being lazy? Or you're just letting your mood override it? Because, I mean, that's one of the next topics. But those small decisions that you make, no matter how little they seem to be, or I can still do this, or just even eating out for lunch versus the meal prep you had in your refrigerator, those little decisions add up. Let's make that work for yourself. So those little decisions add up to make for a bad or good day. Then let that work for you. Keep going with what you had planned on. Just, yes, I'm gonna work out. Yes, I'm gonna do this. Yes, I'm gonna do exactly what I said. Just keep going. And even if you felt like today was gonna be a bad day, those small good decisions that you made gonna start to add up. And it end up leaving you, oh, you know what? At the end of the day, I actually had a decent day, y'all. It started off a little rough, but it ended up being real good. And I feel like we've all had days like that where we did feel like doing nothing, but we pushed past it. We still got up. We still did everything we were supposed to. And at the end of the day, did you regret doing any of the good things that you said you were going to do? Did you really regret staying on schedule, doing exactly what you planned? You don't regret that. You never regret doing what you said you were going to do. So use that to your advantage. And even if when you do that and you get up and you actually still don't feel like it, say you really don't feel like it, but you go ahead and go to the gym, okay? Most of the times when that happens to me, after I start working out, I'm like, why did I even not feel like getting in here? Why did I feel like not coming to work out? You know, I feel like why was I even feeling that bad when I woke up? But on the days that I actually get there and I still feel bad, I still don't feel like doing it, I choose to do something. I don't go there and just not do anything. Even if it's just walking on the treadmill for 20 minutes, even if it's just going through the motions of doing my workout. If I don't do all the sets or all the reps that I usually do, I did something. Any small thing counts, y'all. Even if it's not you doing it full out, it all counts. It all matters. It's all you putting a point and a step forward in the belief of what you want yourself to be. Okay, this all you. You're moving forward. You're stepping forward towards the person you want to be. No matter how small. You might take 10 steps in one day and only one step the next day. But it's still a step in the right direction, you know? So that's how I look at it. No matter how full out I'm going to the gym, no matter how hard I can hit it, no matter how many reps I can get through, how many sets I can do, I showed up and I did something for myself today. No matter how small it is, every day is not going to be a 100% day. Every day is not going to be a 50% day. You know, you might only could give 20% that day, but you gave something towards what you want to be. So let those small decisions count to your advantage. Oh, perfect example. So when I started reading my books, I was like, you know what, if I'm going to try to read every day, I do not want to overdo it, because then I'll start to dread reading. And I told y'all about this if you watched one of the vlogs that I put out recently. I didn't want to overdo it because then I would dread reading every day. I want it to be long enough where I get information or I get entertained from the book, but not long enough for me to get like, dang, I'm tired of reading this. You know, I don't want to overdo it every day. So I started small. For one of the books I said, for Atomic Habits, for example, I said I was only going to read 10 pages a day. So I'm starting myself off small, and then some days I actually even wanted to read more than 10 pages. So I read more than 10 pages. So just start off small, and then it starts to become routine. It starts to become where you're craving to do more than the 10 pages. But just start off small. It doesn't have to be, I'm starting off, I'm going to be a gym girly, so I'm going to work out 5 times a week. That's how you set yourself up to fail. No, you're not doing that. Maybe you may even be able to do that for a week or two, but that's just not sustainable to go from not doing anything to working out 5 times a week. That's just not, okay? So my thing is, even when I stop, like have breaks in working out or anything like that, I always give myself breaks, y'all. Start coming back into it small, you know? It's better than not coming back at all, y'all. So if I stop working out for maybe, or have a break, or I'm sick or something, I haven't been able to work out for maybe 2-3 weeks, and I'm coming back to working out, I'm not gonna start my first week back at 5 days a week again, if that's where I was at. I'm going to give myself, okay, well, why don't we do three times a week? You have to ease yourself into anything that you do, y'all. I feel like that's how you set yourself up for success. You kind of hurt yourself if you start off just trying to go to 100 automatically. Like, so one of the things in the book that he talked about was a 2-minute rule. So when you're starting to try to implement a habit, yourself do it within 2 minutes. And immediately after those 2 minutes, cut it off. It's supposed to be long enough for you to get in some of the act that you want to get in, but not long enough to where it's, like I said, you're dreading it. So he said a 2-minute rule, y'all. So if that was, you want to do push-ups or you want to work out, do 2 minutes a day to ease into you starting this new habit. And then, like he said, like I was telling y'all, you will start to want to do more. You're craving to do more. Since you're here, you're already in the motion, you're going to automatically want to do more. If that's spending more time working out, if that's reading more your book, or that's going on a longer run, it's just to start putting it in your head, like, oh, this is something I'm doing. This is the person I want to be. Another example that he used was, you're in school, an essay or paper in school, you starting off maybe doing 1 paragraph one day, and next time you work on it, you do another paragraph, and you're just doing a little bit at a time, and that all adds up to now you got a whole essay. That's actually what I used to do in school, and without even knowing that's like a process or a method into making yourself be able to do that. It's a task that you need to finish. This is you making your habits easy to achieve, easy to attain at the time. And then, like I said, once you're doing that, you're going to want to do more. And it's just going to, you know, so that small habit, that 2 minutes that you spend and you start to build that habit, that small habit is going to become your like gateway habit, basically. So like I said, it's going to lead you to want to do more. It's going to lead you to want to be more productive and go down that path. You are already here at the gym, you didn't work out, you might as well continue. You might as well, you know, it starts to just naturally lead you to do a path that you're already doing. It makes it easier to just continue doing what you're already doing. Okay, so the main thing of his thing is how it's broken up. The whole book is broken up into the 4 laws of behavior change, y'all. Okay, so it's 1, make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, make it satisfying. So that's kind of how it's all broken up to. So when you're starting to get a habit, he wants you to make it obvious. So one of the things I wanted to do personally was I wanted to get in the habit of waking up immediately, taking my vitamins, waking up and automatically taking my kombucha and stuff like that. So for example, what I would do with my vitamins, I used to not have my vitamins up. Like I used to not have them on my sink. I used to have them under the thing or whatever, you know. So one of the things I did to make it obvious to do them is I put it now right where my skincare is. Because skincare was already an automatic habit for me because I was doing my skincare. You know, I'm a big skincare person. So when I see it already out, obvious, like I missed something when I'm doing my skincare and I see the vitamins, oh, I should take my vitamins, you know? So I made it obvious for myself. Instead of having it under the sink, I have it right in my face when I come in the bathroom every morning. It's little things, little changes like that that will turn something into a habit for you. Now I wake up and automatically, before I even do my skincare, I'm now automatically taking my vitamins. That would be like somebody who wants to drink water first thing in the morning, having the water right there beside the bed. You know, when you go to sleep, so when you wake up, it's automatically right there. So it's like, oh, I see you, water. You know? So you're just making it obvious for yourself. You're putting it in your face. Whatever you want to do, you're putting it right in your face so that you, hey, I'm supposed to be doing that. Like my vitamins. Hey, I'm supposed to be taking them. The water. Hey, I'm supposed to be drinking some water. You're putting it right in your face. So it's like, you can't forget it. You can't not do it. And then it was making it attractive, the second law. So one of the things he said you could do with that I personally like, that I am doing now, is temptation bundling. You mix an action that you want to do with something you need to do. That's what temptation bundling is. Because I hate freaking walking, y'all. I'm not a big cardio person, but I know I need to do that. And I want to get my steps in because, like I told you, I'm trying to lose weight and stuff. But no matter what I do, I'm just not a big fan of it. So I use temptation bundling when it comes to this. So when I'm walking on the treadmill, I always turn on vlogs. So I like watching vlogs. That's something I want to do. So I put it in my mind, like, the only time I get to watch my vlogs during the week, for the most part, is, unless I finish everything I need to do and I'm rewarded for that, I try to link watching vlogs, which I like to do, with walking on the treadmill and working out. So when I'm working out, I usually have on a vlog that I want to watch, you know, so I'm linking what I wanted to do with what I need to be doing, which is working out and hitting that treadmill. So I just let vlogs play. Every vlog that I want to, I put in save to watch later, and I let that thing run while I'm working out and walking on the treadmill. So that's what you could do with anything, y'all. It's linking something that you want to do with something you need to do, and there you go. So I tie those two together, watching vlogs for the week and working out. So hey, you want to watch some vlogs? You better get your butt up and go work out. That's actually made me work out sooner than I actually was supposed to, because I'm like, oh, I'm itching to watch this vlog, y'all, but I know I'm supposed to be working out at the same time. So it actually has made me go work out sooner than I actually was going to, or even before I even planned on going to. just because I've linked those two in my mind together. So I know that I don't need to be doing this what I want to do without doing what I need to be doing. And that's how you make your habit that you're trying to form more attractive, by linking to something that you already like to do. Next thing is habit stacking. So I also use that as well. Like I said in the book, you decide on what you're about to do next, for the most part based off of what you just finished doing. For example, using the bathroom. Next thing you're gonna do is what? Wash your hands. Most of the actions you take throughout the day have a ripple effect on what you do next, y'all. Okay? So like I said, the bathroom thing, but also whenever you're trying to do anything, whether good or bad, like for example, me, if I buy an item of clothing, like I buy an outfit, you wanna wear what? New shoes or new accessories to go with it. If you don't have something, it's kind of like a mind thing. Like one thing, once you do something, it leads to another thing. No one behavior is isolated, y'all. What you're doing now will lead to what you do next. Basically, he was saying use that as to your advantage. So put them together and say, after I do something you already always do, I will do this. So usually for habit stacking, as far as vitamins go, I'm gonna use that example because it's already what we're using. After I wake up, I always go to the restroom. So after I use the restroom, I will take my vitamins. That's habit stacking. As soon as I wake up, I'm always come to the restroom. As soon as I use the restroom, I'm always wash my hands. I'm right here now in front of it. I made it obvious. That's the vitamins right here. When I look up after washing my hands, there it is. So I done stacked habits on top of each other. Me waking up, to me using the restroom, to me washing my hands, to me doing my vitamins, to me doing my skincare. I'm stacking all these habits together. It's just like routine, basically. Once I finish one thing, I know I'm going to do the next thing. Already, most of these habits are habits that I already have. So I'm just stacking the habits I already have with new habits and putting them in there. And that helped me remember to take my vitamins on top of the fact that I made it obvious to myself. But use that to your advantage. Use habit stacking to your advantage, because it can also, like I said, be a disadvantage to you if once you buy one thing in the store, now you want to buy this thing in the store. And shopping addicts, once they buy one thing, they got to do this. People are always using habit stacking, whether they know it or not, really. Like I said, for the example of shopping, and I know I'm using shopping example because y'all, I like to shop. That used to be my big thing. I used to spend all my money on shopping, all of it. Like I remember I went through I got my first freaking refund check when I was a freshman, y'all. First semester, it was like $2,000, $3,000. Boy, I blew that shopping. Because once I bought this, I wanted to buy this, and I wanted to buy this, and I wanted to buy that. And y'all, I can't even tell you what I spent that money on, because it was just random clothes that I bought. Start to stack what you want to be a habit with older habits, like stuff you already have as a habit. Stack that with your new habits. After I get dressed, I will go straight to the gym. After I make my coffee in the morning, I will read 10 pages of my book. After I do so-and-so, whatever the habit is you already do, I will do this. So that's just habit stacking. The next one is, like I already told you, I already kind of mentioned, forget your mood and your motivation. That ain't gonna help you, baby. Because you're not gonna always feel good about doing it. You're not gonna always feel like doing it. Have a good mood. Have great motivation about doing whatever you need to do, whatever you plan on doing. You're not gonna always feel like it. It's impossible. You're never gonna always feel like it. The difference in successful people and anything they want to do is they get up, focusing on your mood, focus on your motivation for the day. It's not gonna help you. Like I said, you're not going to always feel like doing it, and focusing on that is just going to make you set yourself up for failure, y'all. I used to be the most, if I don't feel like a person, I'm not doing it. I don't know what to tell y'all. If I didn't feel like doing whatever, I'm not doing it. And I thought that was a good thing, but it's not, y'all. It's not. And I don't know why I ever thought it was. The difference between you and a successful person and anything you want to achieve and do is the fact that they did it even when they didn't feel like it. They got up to go to the gym even when they didn't feel like it. They got up and went to class even though they didn't feel like it. They got up and went to work or they didn't feel like it. Whatever the case may be, they got up and did what they were supposed to do. No matter what mood they were in, no matter how much motivation they had that day, they got up and they did it. And that can make all the difference in the world through making who you want to become you. That can make all the difference, y'all. Because your mood is going to change every day, y'all. It's going to change throughout the day. Depending on who you are, your mood can change every hour. So focusing on your mood will not get you to where you want to be at. And that's just what it is. There's nothing else to it. Saying you don't feel like working out today and then not working out, and then tomorrow you don't feel like working out. What's to say the whole week you in a funk? That means the whole week you're not going to work out? No, that's not what you're supposed to be doing. It don't matter how you feel. Just get up and do it. If you're not just sick as a dog, it's just literally your emotions. Oh, I don't feel like it. Get your butt up. And I had to learn that. Just get up. Because every morning I would just feel like, I don't want to get up, y'all. I want to stay in this bed. I want to scroll. And I just want to lay here in this bed. I don't feel like doing nothing. That just like, I had to tell myself after reading the book, I'm like, get up. I don't care how I wake up feeling. I automatically tell myself, we got to get up today. I don't care what I even accomplished today. I'm getting up out this bed. I'm going to get dressed. And once I done got up out the bed and get dressed, half the time, y'all, I'd be like I told y'all, it'd be like, what was I even complaining for? I'd be feeling so good after I done got up, got dressed, and got ready for the day. I'm like, see, that's you playing with yourself. That's you playing with your potential, y'all. Because what? Your mood? You see how fast my mood just changed from me getting out of bed to just putting on clothes. Whole mood just changed. But I was about to let myself sit in that mood that I was feeling in my bed and not work out today. And then that might happen the next day. And then, like I said, you might end up not working out the whole week. How does that help you in your goal if your goal is to be a gym girly? That ain't gonna help you be no gym girl. That ain't helping you lose them 10 pounds. That ain't helping you do nothing sitting there and soaking in that mood and not doing what you said you were going to do. So you just gotta say F your mood sometimes, y'all. F your mood. We ain't studying your mood. It don't matter what you feel like doing, you just gotta do. Just get up and do. Because honestly, once you get up and do, you might feel like you might end up having more energy than you actually think. Okay, there's plenty of times, like I said, I felt like not going to the gym because I just, I'm so tired. And then I get in the gym and I'm completely fine and I'm killing it for the day. So my advice to y'all is to just freaking get up. Get up. Forget your mood. Forget whatever lack of motivation you have today. Forget it all. Just get up and get to doing. Like I said, it doesn't matter if you don't even do the whole sets for workout or your reps. It don't matter if you do read all the pages or not. Just get up and do something. No matter how small, just you got up and did something. And that's a foot in the right direction to the goal that you have and to the person you want to become. You know? You gotta stop. We're not relying on moves. We're not relying on motivation. We are sticking to our goals. We're forming these habits. I mean, that's how we create habits, y'all. You just gotta keep going even when you don't feel like it. Get up even when you don't feel like it. Go to the gym even when you don't feel like it. All these little steps that you say, oh, I'll do tomorrow. I'll, maybe next week. Those are the steps that you're taking in the wrong direction. Just like those little steps in the right direction, you saying no and not doing what you're supposed to is taking those steps backwards from being the person that you actually want to be. You know, it goes both ways, y'all. So if you're not putting your step forward to go to be the person you want to be, you're putting your step backwards to be the person you don't want to be. The person you're trying to not be anymore. So stop focusing on your mood and motivation. Just get up, get your butt up. Okay, we got 2 more out of these. But like I said, it's a lot more I could say, y'all. But these are my top picks that I want to talk to y'all about. If y'all want me to talk about more, just let me know in the comments below and I will. The next one was create a designated space for different tasks. I feel like I realized we always talk about how your environment plays into who you are and what you do. But the way it was said and explained in the book, it kind of just hit different, y'all. For me, as a person that works at home, and for him to say create different environments for different tasks. Because technically, usually if you're at work, you go to an actual job site or actual work, that's where you do what? Work. Okay, when you come home, this is your relaxation. It's already separated for you. Nothing to confuse between the two. But when you're working at home or you're an entrepreneur or whatever, you're at home the whole time. So your relaxation and work and everything that you do is all compiled into one place, And he was basically saying, like, if that is the case, you need to create a different task for each room. Have a different task designated for each room in your house. Have this room be where you do your work at. Have this room be where you relax at. Have this room be where you specify a place and for that specific task and isolate that task to that specific room. Even if some people have offices that they don't ever use. He says, isolate that task to that specific room. So that way your brain works. As soon as you get in that room, you know exactly what you're supposed to be doing in that room. Once you get in your bedroom, it's time to relax, it's time to wind down, it's time to maybe watch some TV or whatever. When you go in your office, it's time to do work. Once you go in your living room, maybe it's time to watch TV. Just specify where everything is. When you go to your dining room and sit down at the table, it's time to eat. Everything has its own specific designated areas. And that way, when you sit down, wherever room you're at, you'll know exactly what you're about to do. Okay, a lot of people get thrown off and they feel like they see everything that they can possibly do in their face because they're at home, like in their bedroom. Me, I used to eat in my room, I worked out in my room, I did work in my room, I watched TV in my room. I was doing everything in my room. So when I got to starting to do one thing, it was like I felt a pull to do something else, and it was just like I was thinking about too much because now I done created this environment for myself where I'm sitting in front of 20 different things I could possibly be doing in this room. Your environment plays into what you're feeling, what you're doing. And I already knew your environment can play into your productivity as well. Like, I was in school and we learned about designing buildings and stuff like that. We talked about how the layout of a room can make people feel. The colors painted in a room can make people feel and how productive they can be just based off of the colors in the room, the lighting of the room, the type of ceiling, open ceiling versus a low ceiling. So I learned all that in school, so it wasn't like a big surprise to me to find out your environment plays a huge role into everything, even creating habits. But it was when it came to how important it is to isolate a task to specific rooms. I never used to do that. Like I said, I was doing everything in my bedroom. So no wonder I felt overwhelmed looking at everything I could possibly be doing in my bedroom. Because I'm not setting that room up for one thing. It's like I was wondering why I'm not productive, why I don't feel like doing this work when I'm in my room where I'm usually inclined to be on my phone in bed. And that's what I'm getting pulled to want to do, is just put this computer down and sit on my phone and chill in bed. So like I said, you need a stable environment where everything has its own place and purpose, y'all. That's how you help yourself to be more productive, to create these habits, to sustain these habits. It also talks about how the secret to self-control is your environment, y'all. So he's used the four laws of behavior change. The first one, make it obvious. So he used that in this circumstance. As far as the environment goes, we talked about one was make it obvious. So that's me putting the vitamins up right in front of my face and all that. The inverse of that is make it invisible. So if I'm making it invisible, that's me changing my environment, y'all. So if I say I don't want to take these vitamins, make it invisible. Don't put them in my face no more. Say it's a habit that I'm trying to not do. I'm not trying to watch TV anymore. Or I'm trying to watch TV less. Move your TV out of your bedroom. Put it in another room so you can only watch TV at certain times when you're in that room. But when you're coming in your bedroom, you're not going to even have the option of watching TV in there because you have no TV. You made it completely invisible to do. You made your habit completely invisible to do. Some people use that as like doing their phones. Before they go to sleep, they'll move their phone to a different room in their house. So that when they wake up, they won't have the ability to even doom scroll as soon as they wake up. They have to physically get out of bed already to go get their phone. So you're making it basically invisible and hard to do. And then one of the things I also found funny with this is the way he explained this, y'all. Like I said, the secret to self-control is your environment. So he was like, basically, it's hard to maintain a zen attitude in a life filled with interruptions because we become the product of our environment. I mean, people argue about this all the time, y'all. Whether growing up somewhere leaves you more likely to do this or more inclined to do that thing. And to me, I don't know why people argue about it because it's obvious that that's true. We can't stick to positive habits in a negative environment. So he says people with high self-control spend less time in tempting situations. So they're not resisting temptation all the time. They're just avoiding it. It's easier to avoid temptation than to resist it. It was easier to practice self-control when you don't have to use it that often. So like I said, avoiding it is better than having to resist it all the time. So one of the examples he used was in the Vietnam War, they had a problem with heroin and the soldiers. Okay, so in the Vietnam War, the soldiers were getting addicted to heroin. Well, they noticed when they did the study that most of the soldiers that were addicted to heroin, once they came from the Vietnam War, weren't addicted anymore. They wasn't using heroin anymore. And they were trying to figure out why, because most people relapse when it comes to drugs, when it comes to alcohol, and they go back to using it. So they found out that it was the environment that was playing it. So since they weren't around any of their triggers to make them use it like they were in the war, under their stress, under whatever they were doing, the pain that they were going through, all that, since none of those triggers were back at home, they essentially stopped feeling the need to even take heroin, which was the complete opposite of the study of people who are usually at home and go to rehab facilities and then come back home. Their study for that were that they, for the most part, always revert back, always relapse back. And the difference was that one is going to a whole new environment. When they get out of the war, they went back home. They're not in the same environment anymore, lacked their triggers, so they weren't doing it anymore. Whereas one is going from a rehab facility and then put it back where they were when they did drugs, which causes them to relapse. So it was basically, they found out that the environment was the reason why they were relapsing, which is why the Vietnam soldiers weren't relapsing like regular people that were on drugs. So the whole point of that was your self-control is a short-term strategy, not long-term. So you need to focus on your environment and making your environment work for you. So the last one is accountability partners. They are useful because knowing that someone is watching you can be a powerful motivator. And that's also true because a lot of people will, I think I read this, or it was in the book, I can't remember which one, but it was basically saying that accountability partners are useful to have because we will show up for other people usually before we show up for ourselves. So the fact that you have somebody that's always counting on you to go do your workouts or counting on you to go do whatever your goal is, having that accountability partner that's doing the same thing as you will make you more likely to do it, continue doing it, because that person is also depending on you and you don't want to let them down. And they're watching you. So you also don't want to not be doing what you're supposed to do in front of them. So yeah, those are the main key takeaways that I got from it. As far as accountability partners, I found it interesting because that's crazy that we show up for others more than we show up for ourselves. And I thought about that, and that's kind of really true, y'all. For the most part, people will show up for other people, whether they feel like it or not. But when it comes to them, it's always about their mood and what they feel like doing when it comes to their own personal goals and stuff like that. Yeah, that's enough. You need to show up for yourself, just like you're gonna show up for your friends and your family and all that. So those are key takeaways that we're talking about for this particular video. And that's all I have to say. Hope that helped whoever it was supposed to help. Y'all should definitely go read it, Atomic Habits. And I'm gonna put it up on the screen right now. But that's the end, and thanks for watching.